we'll be talking about, again, nutrition, hydration, and cooking. So when we say nutrition, offhand, what comes to mind? Anyone? Alice, what comes to mind when you think of nutrition? Food, right?
Micronutrients.
Yeah, micronutrients. Is that Joanna Harley? Okay, I can't see everyone behind the mask, but okay, go ahead. So Joanna said micronutrients as well as micronutrients. So we'll be talking about that soon. So nutrition is the science of food, how the body uses it and how it keeps the body healthy. We can't live without it, right? Only 25% of adults eat enough vegetables and fruits every day. Most Americans eat too much fat every day, and some eat way too much fat. This has contributed to nearly 65% of Americans being overweight. Right. Hydration has to do with the amount of fluid we have in our bodies. Water is the most important nutrients out of all of the nutrients that we need. It is known that the human body cannot live with more than 5 days without water. Fluids are more important to our bodies than food. We can survive for weeks without eating food, but only for days without drinking water, as I just mentioned. Our bodies are made up of at least 50% of water. It only takes 2%, a 2% drop in our body for waters to trigger signs of digestion. A newborn baby has 77% of water, children about 60%, and adults about 50 to 70%. Nutrients are chemical substances in foods that help the body grow and function. It's needed for our cells to repair. There are 6 essential nutrients in our body. Offhand, does anybody know? Maybe Joanna. Does anybody know what the 6 nutrients? Essential nutrients.
B vitamin, folate. What's the amino acids?
Amino acids. Yeah. So the vitamins would be the micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals, and then for your macronutrients, you have carbs, proteins, and fats. Protein is used for cells and tissues for growth. Most of the protein we eat comes from animal sources like meat and eggs, which we'll be cooking some eggs later on. But protein is found in plant sources such as dried beans. All right, we talked about the 6 essential nutrients. Okay, the first essential nutrients we'll talk about is carbohydrates. So carbs are sugars and starches. There are 2 kinds, simple carbs and complex carbs. Simple carbs, such as pieces of candy, give only a short burst of energy, and they're known as being empty calories. So you eat it, it gives you a short amount of energy for a short period of time, but it doesn't provide any nutrients to your body. Complex carbs, such as a piece of whole wheat toast, take longer to digest and give us energy for a long time. So when you eat carbs like bread, it's always better to eat whole wheat rather than white bread. White bread has more of those bad carbs for us. And the whole wheat provides more nutrients. Sugars are usually simple carbs. While they taste good, they tend to be empty calories. This means they give the body a little energy, but that's all. Empty calories provide no minerals, vitamins, or fiber. Fruits and vegetables are carbohydrates. When eaten fresh or lightly cooked, they provide lots of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. So as you see, there's more information in the slides, and we'll email this out to you. I am doing an abbreviated version to give everyone time to cook so we can get to the fun stuff to start cooking. Essential nutrients, number 2 is fat. Fat are condensed sources of energy. A teaspoon of any kind of fat provides at least twice the calories of a teaspoon of sugar. They are digested more slowly than carbs. So after a meal, your body will use the energy from carbs first. The fat calories may not get used up right away, so your body saves them for later. And when we have too much, that's when we start seeing it on our bodies.
the hips.
Yeah.
It's a cushion. There you go, lovely.
So some fats contain cholesterol. A little bit is needed by our bodies, but many people have too much cholesterol in their blood, which causes a buildup in the arteries. That's what we don't want. So there's good fats, and then there's the bad fats. So the good fats come from things like vegetables, and things like fish, and then your bad fats are things like lard, butters, those saturated fats. Yeah. Right. The stuff that tastes good is not good for our bodies. What's that, Joanna? Did you say something?
Not the same butter.
Yeah, yeah, right. What's bread without butter? But in moderation, you know, and you want to make sure, yeah, you want to make sure you're not, you know, piling it up with butter, just a little bit, you know. Protein is the second most common nutrient in our bodies. Our bodies, our tissues, bones, and nerves are mostly made up of mostly protein. It also helps us with muscles, blood, skin, nails, and internal organs like the heart and brain. Our bodies can't store protein for later, so we have to eat some every day. So if you eat a big steak today, you know, just because it's big, you know, you think it's steak, it provides a lot of protein, that is just enough for that day, and it won't store in your body to use later like fat. So you have to eat proteins every day. Foods that contain protein include animal sources like milk, meat, fish, poultry, and eggs. Plant foods that have protein include dried beans, nuts, seeds, and textured vegetable proteins, veggie burgers. It's best to choose low-fat protein sources like poultry, fish, and dried beans as much as possible. And then essential nutrient number 4, it's listed here as number 4, but as I mentioned earlier, it's the most important nutrient for our bodies. So the guidelines is that we have 8 ounces of 8 glasses of water per day. That equates to 64 ounces a day. So throughout the day, you want to encourage your clients to drink water, you yourself. Self-care is always important when you're taking care of others. Make sure that you're drinking lots of water during the day. One of our body functions every one of our body uses functions using water. This is why we need to drink that amount of water. It's possible to drink too much water, and that is called water intoxication. This condition is rare since people with healthy kidneys can process 15 quarts of fluids a day. Dehydration is a lack of healthy amount of water in the body. Children, elderly people, like the clients that we serve, and sick people easily become dehydrated. That's why it's so important as caregivers to encourage them to drink fluids unless they are on fluid restrictions. And you always want to check your care plan to see, you know, if your client has any diet restrictions, any fluid restrictions, allergies. And I'm hoping that everybody knows where to find that information, right? On the app. You go under the care plan tab, and then under the nurse's assessment. When you're being assigned to a case, you always want to check that, because that tells you everything that you need to know about your client. Like we said, allergies, if they're on any special diets, things like that. Signs of dehydration include thirst, dry mouth and skin, headache, fever, rapid breathing, and heart rate, and dizziness. And this diagram, this shows body uses water because of our but we need water in our body. It provides lubrication, temperature regulation. It helps convert food into energy for digestion, participates in the process of digestion, and beauty. It gives us the good skin that many of you have here. And I can't see that from here. So our brain uses 85% of water, blood 95%, kidneys 70%, our eyes 95%, liver 86%, lungs need 83%, and heart needs 79% of water. So that just illustrates the importance of water. For some reason, my computer is drawing on the screen. All right, and then essential nutrients 5 is vitamins. Vitamins are very important to our health. Our bodies make some vitamins, but most of our vitamins are needed from food or vitamin pills. The best source of vitamins is through the food we eat. So that's why it's important to have a healthy diet. You can supplement with vitamins and pills, of course, with consulting with your doctor. There are 20 vitamins that are important to our nutritional health, and the following are the most common ones. And I'm just going to mention vitamin A protects our mucous membranes from infection. So this keeps your body healthy and preventing you from getting infection. It builds and repairs the skin, and it keeps our eyesight strong. Carrots, we can find vitamin A in carrots. That's why a common saying is to eat carrots for good eyesight. Vitamin B complex, 8 different B vitamins, gives the body energy for working with carbohydrates. It helps keep our intestinal muscles strong. It helps build strong skin, hair, eyes, mouth, and liver. And then vitamin C also helps fight off infections like cold and flu. And it helps build red blood cells. And then you have your vitamin D, which is good for our bones and teeth. And then also, we have a natural source of vitamin D outside. Our sunlight gives vitamin D. So on a day like this, you can go out for a walk and get vitamin D from that. Help with urination, and vitamin E helps with urination and can decrease edema and high blood pressure, which is edema is swelling of it could be swelling of the legs. So you may notice that some of your clients have that condition. And then this just goes over some more facts about vitamins. And then essential nutrients number 6 is minerals, which is important for our bones, teeth, and soft tissues, bloods, and nerve cells. There are about 17 minerals that our body must have. And this goes over the common ones: calcium, and where you can get it from things like green leafy vegetables, fruit, fish, and whole wheat.
Sorry to distract you.
Yes.
Before you pass to the next mineral, can you tell us with vitamin B complex, what is the source from the food we can get for this?
Yes, thanks for asking. So vitamin D is found in yeast, liver, and beef, fish, flour, sunflower seeds, whole grains, breads, and cereals. And I will send this out to everyone too, so that you can use this as a resource. And for those of you who are in the office, we have materials up here too that you can grab on your way out. Some common kitchen utensils, food translations, and different ways to make eggs. So we included food translations because we are very fortunate to have a very diverse group of caregivers, which is a very good thing. And when you come from, different places, we use different terms for different things. So this goes like, I don't know, does anybody call cotton candy floss? Okay, well, that can be, in some places, cotton candy is called candy floss. So things like that. So a client may say, grab me something, and you may not be familiar with that term because you call it something else. So this just gives you different common food translations as well. So you can grab those on your way out. And I'll send those out by email too for the ones that are on Zoom. Okay, I think we left off at vitamin K. So vitamin K helps clot the blood. Eating yogurt helps the body make its own supply of vitamin K. And then these are some more facts about vitamins. Vitamins are divided into 2 categories according to the way the body absorbs them. And that's either fat soluble or water soluble. Okay, and then the 6th nutrients is minerals. I did read this. And that includes iron and potassium and sodium. All right, some of you may be familiar with this. This is the guidance from the FDA on how we should prepare our meals. So I always visualize this when I'm making meals for my family throughout the day. So as you see here, you want to have like about 1/4 protein on your plate, a little over 1/4 of grains, vegetables, fruits, and then your dairy. So whenever you're preparing meals at home for your family or for your clients, try to visualize this, and this will help you ensure that you're getting the nutrients that you need on a daily basis. All right, and so this just goes over what I just mentioned. Vary your protein choices. A healthy diet should include seafood, such as protein, at least twice a week, and switch to skim milk or 1% milk rather than whole milk, which has more fat. Okay. And then serving sizes. So just make sure that you're using, going by that portion, those portion sizes on my plate. Watch out for high fat foods, check the labels. If a food has more than 3 grams of fat for every 100 calories, it's a high fat food. And earlier this month, March is National Nutrition Month. So I sent out, you should have received some information by email. So we sent information on how to read nutrition labels. So you can always go back and use that as a resource too. And this goes over the importance of water. I want to give our team here enough time to do their cooking. So I think I'm going to end it here. I'm going to hand it over to Christopher. If you haven't met him, he's our human resources coordinator. And he's going to Barbara. She's going to start off with breakfast. So we're going to go like how you go throughout the day with your client. Breakfast, how to prepare breakfast, lunch, and then dinner. So Barbara is our business development manager and Christopher is our human resource coordinator. But today they're known as Chef Chris and Chef Barbara. And we also have Chef Lynn hiding over there. So you probably know her very well. She's one of our care coordinators. And we have our client service manager here as well, Carol. So I'm gonna hand it over to them.
Picture. I have a direct ball in my hand. And are you familiar with the spray? Sometimes you'll have turntables that turn around. It's better because it's cooking more even. If not, stirring them makes the difference, and you can stir the bowl. Okay. See, some of it's starting to thicken a little bit. So you just stir it up. So that tells me that I can go a little bit longer. So it's best to test it for like about 30 seconds. That way you know if you're going to microwave. It's better to be undercooked and then you can cook it later. So I'm going to put it in for a minute. Okay. Just some ideas of some eggs. Some people sometimes like cheese on eggs. Some people like tomatoes on eggs. You can feel free to add, those little things, and you can do it while it's cooking at the beginning if you want, or you can do it as a garnish over top. And see what they're starting to look like here, starting to solidify. You see it? So rather than keeping it all one piece, you never want just one piece. The bowl might be hot, so be careful. Get a hot pan or something. Just kind of stir it up a little bit. Keep stirring it. And then put it in for another minute. The microwave can be your friend. Eggs is pretty good if you keep them in a bowl. If you're cooking or heating anything up, please use covers or paper towel. You don't want to do a lot of dishes. If you're heating up something, you can always put on a paper plate and then just put something over top. You never want to have to clean the microwave a lot, but after you're done, make sure you wipe it down. That way it's better for anyone who's using it, either yourself later or family members. Okay. I can't stand a dirty microwave. That's a pet peeve of mine. So now see how fluffy they're getting?
Isn't that neat? So when you're stirring it up, break them up a little bit. So the consistency of the eggs, okay, they're nice and hot. The other thing is too, when you're cooking your breakfast, if you're doing it in stages, You can use a piece of aluminum foil to try to keep your things warm. Or you can just take like another plate and put it right over top. So keep your food warm. That's important. So with this part of it, your scrambled eggs, some people like ketchup on scrambled eggs. If you're from Pennsylvania like me, I like ketchup on my eggs. Some people like Tabasco sauce. I know the guys, my husband, he loves Tabasco sauce. This is a consistency of the eggs. It's not flat, it's fluffy, and they're light little pieces in case people are having a hard time eating. So, you got a little bit of salt and pepper. Like I said, even salsa. Are you familiar with salsa? A lot of times people like salsa on their eggs. Salsa, a little bit of cheese. Now, if you want to put cheese on the eggs, take the cheese and put it back in just for maybe 10, 15 seconds. Just watch it. And then you can have cheese on your eggs. Any questions so far? Okay, do your eggs look like this? Oops, wait a minute, I gotta fix the plate here. Don't take it away yet. Okay, so when you get fruit from the store, I don't care what people say, wash it. They say, oh, it's pre-washed. So put it in a strainer and wash it, okay? If you're not gonna use all of it at one time, only wash the portion that you're gonna serve. Does that make sense? You know why? Because the moisture will stay on it. So pour out, measure it in a bowl, and wash that part of it, and leave whatever's there from the store. Does that make sense? I washed them all because we're going to eat them all. So when you're putting them in, strawberries are always good. If you want to take the stems off, I kind of like the stems. It gives you something to hang on to. So when you're positioning it, put your strawberries on, and then we also have yogurt. So I don't always like to put it in the container because sometimes it's hard. So get a little bowl, okay? Don't put it on, it's gonna be all over the place and look like soup. So get just a little bowl, pretend this is in a little bowl, okay? And you can also use the fruit with the strawberries with your yogurt as well. So just positioning it, and if we had some ketchup, I would draw a smiley face, a dot nose and a smiley face. So a happy face. So you can be creative with things like that. So you got your cheese, your salsa, and then if you want to make some toast on the side, cut it in triangles, okay? Put them on the side and then present it to them. Looks better. And wouldn't you want to eat that? Okay. So this is just all about presentation and be excited. A lot of times they'll say, well, and a lot of times they don't want to eat alone. Okay, so just check and see. Sit down and eat with them. If you're gonna, if that's maybe a little bit too much, then take a little bit of the eggs and you eat with them. It's companionship. It's join conversation. How do you like those eggs? Am I a pretty good chef? Then you can get criticism back if they don't like them a certain way. So that way you're really caring about what they are tasting. Can you taste it? Sometimes I hate to say it, ketchup is a little bit of sugar, but still it might give them something to get their taste buds. As you get older, you lose your taste buds. Okay, so anything you can encourage them to eat. Any questions so far? You can always spray a little bit more in there. Don't be afraid to do that. I might need some more water. All right, I'm gonna need more water. Please. The steam, which I put in here, gonna move the eggs around a little bit in the skillet. Okay, and then I'm gonna put it over top. Do you have a hot pad?
Can use two of those.
Yep. There we go. So what this is doing, it's kind of giving a steam bath. Okay, so if you had a lid, I like the clear lids. Okay, so there you go. All right, let's show them, see what it did.
Wow.
No, it's not poached, it's a dippy egg, sunny side up, you see? So the lid will do it by itself, you see that? Isn't that cool?
You don't have to worry about.
You don't have to worry about flipping them, okay? Somebody wants it over easy, it's like over easy. And the yolk is nice and soft and supple. Oh my gosh. Now dip your fork into it. You see how the yolk just comes out?
Yeah.
And what is so much fun is you got the toast, you can dip it in.
Is that why it's called dippy egg?
It can call dippy egg. That's when I was a little girl. I wanted dippy egg.
Okay.
Sunny side up, over easy. What do you think about
Dip
that?
your toast in it.
Yeah, you can dip your toast in it. That gives them a chance. And the other thing is, the yellow part of the egg, put it a little bit over the white, because a lot of people don't like the white 70 flavor.
Okay.
Then you can, they'll eat the whole thing. Does that make sense? All right, here's the oatmeal in the bowl. Look at this. Isn't this wonderful? It has the blueberries in it. Now, a lot of people, oatmeal, the fruit can give the flavor. Oatmeal has a bland taste to it. So brown sugar is awesome. Brown sugar on oatmeal is really, really good. That's better than the white refined sugar. So you can also sprinkle some brown sugar on top of it. So we'll get a couple. Okay, I'm gonna put, I don't have any brown sugar, do you? All right, so let's put some in here. Somebody take, I'm gonna put something else in there before you give it out. Just a minute. Put a little bit of yogurt. Let me dress it up a little bit. You have another spoon. Extra spoon.
Oh.
More spoon. Hand that to somebody. There you go.
Oh,
Here.
you want some?
So, if you want to do a hard boiled egg, a lot of times people, like that part of it. Just take the water, take a smaller pan, make sure you put warm water in to begin with. It cooks quicker. Don't put cold water in, put warm water in. Then you heat it up, okay? Put just a little bit of salt, okay? Put your egg in. And what I usually do is take like a wooden spoon over top of the pan. It helps it so it doesn't boil over the sink. That's a trick my grandma taught me. And then what I would usually do, once it starts boiling, then put the timer on for 12 minutes. Okay, 12 minutes. After that, what you want to do is dump out the hot water and then put a cold water. Don't peel the egg yet. Put the cold water in, let them soak a little bit in the cold water, and the shell comes right off.
So now we have Chef Lynn and Chef Chris preparing lunch.
So we're now progressing and moving into lunch. So we're going to be doing chicken salad. Everybody love chicken salad. I'm going to show you a variation of that, and then we're also going to do grilled cheese with tomato soup. Easy, breezy, appetizing, quick and easy. My favorite, right? Okay, so we're going to start off. I'm going to start off with the grilled cheese. We're going to start off with preferably a white bread. Give me your burner here. I always kind of like to get it to a low heat. And that was the much fat. Right? So ultimately, we're looking for saving time. That we need to bring that we're not taking long the can being effective.
Actually, I'm curious, why white bread for grilled cheese?
Which is a choice. I mean, wheat bread, whatever the preference of the client is, we always utilize at my house white bread, and we also go between wheat bread. We have a variety.
I just wondered if white was preferred for the making of the dish, that's all.
Well, we were coming up, no, we weren't coming up with the items. We just thought across the board that white bread would be just something that people would like.
One of the things we were trying to also to help you utilize the things that a client may already have in their house in case you don't have the opportunity to run to the store for them, or they have not given you a grocery list. So that's why sometimes we were talking about just use white bread, because most of the time people either have white or they either have wheat bread in their homes. So you can make your grilled cheese sandwiches from either wheat, some even from grain. There's some people use 12 grain bread. You can also make your grilled cheese sandwiches from that as well. What we're trying to do is to make things that are really quick and easy. We know that some of you may be only working with a client for 4 hours. So the expectation for you to be in the kitchen for almost 45 minutes to an hour trying to prepare a meal for them is not, realistic. So what we were trying to do, right, is try to show you how to do something that is desirable, acceptable, and easy. So one of the things I'm going to do is most of you might see grilled chicken in a can. Some people like grilled chicken, some people like tuna. Okay, I'm just gonna say. Okay, we're good. All right. And then what you just do is basically open the can, which I am not very good at doing. I got it. I'm going, while I go out, I'm gonna drain the juice off of it while Chris starts working with the grilled cheese. This generally has a lot of juice on it. A lot of times people do not, you want to put it in? Okay. A lot of times people drain the juice off. The reason why, because it's been in preservatives and sometimes it's salty. So you drain the juice off of it so that the chicken will not be salty, because you may be wanting to add your own seasoning to it just to spike it up a little bit, okay? So that's what we do with that. You can drain it off and dump it in here.
And while we're gonna, we already have the skillet on low heat. We're going to take some ham. Well, we have a white bread here. You're going to go ahead and do a nice way to cover, right? You guys see that there? No. Now you want to monitor it because you don't want this to smoke. So we're going to go ahead and get 2 slices of bread. Now typically you can go ahead and kind of do this separately on a plate, and then put the cheese on and then place the bread on top and then put it on the skillet. But I'm going to do it this way just for the sake of time. We have a variety of different cheeses. We have Rumble cheese, white cheese, American cheese, provolone cheese, whatever the preference is of the customer, to the client. So we're going to take a slice of cheese. Actually, we're going to do 3, right? Because we want a nice, healthy, delicious grilled cheese. Okay, we'll do 2. So you're basically just going to go ahead and press this on here. Is everybody able to see? We've got 2 slices of cheese here in between the white bread. We have it at a medium heat. And we're just going to sit here and monitor it. In the meantime, we'll flip it back and forth till it burns, and then we'll transition back into the chicken salad.
So for chicken salad, it's really, really easy. You see it as it's in the bowl right here. So you can do things like, okay, I'm going to cut up some celery, which is really easy. Some people even may already have it in refrigerators. Some people have diced celery. You see it already in the store, already diced. If they send you to the store, you can use that and put that in. But for right now, I'm just going to add celery, which will also give us, as she has already talked to you about it, Brittany, about the different seasonings. Celery is good too, as a vegetable as well, in your chicken as well, for lunch.
So we're still cooking. We can do a flip. 1 flip of the grilled cheese because you want to monitor to make sure it doesn't burn. Let's see this here. Flip. You didn't do butter, just the cheese. Barbara has added another suggestion as well. For your grilled cheese, it would be nice to line the bread with a little butter and then the cheese on top of that and then the bread. So that's another option as well for an alternative size. Okay.
It's so hungry.
So it's getting a nice golden brown crisp. Right? But just keep moving it around. You don't necessarily want it to break, but we're really looking for the cheese to be melted. That's the most ideal presentation and taste. Again. Sometimes you will have to utilize the spatula to press down on the bread to make sure that it's coming together, that it's melting and sticking together. Because you don't want the bread to burn. You don't want to burn bread while the cheese is still melting, you know. You want it to be perfectly consistent. And here, how's the chicken salad coming along?
Chicken salad coming along. I just need the mayonnaise. So what I just did briefly was chop up some celery and put it in there basically for coloring and some substance as well. Okay, some vegetation as well, right? Also, what we just do is just open this up.
You need to help? I can do it again. He's that close to the door.
I don't do it.
You have nails
The
for
blue-
that?
The blue tab.
Now, another thing in the interim, guys, is if you could cover this to conceal the heat also, but for the sake of time,
Yeah.
not having that.
Break your nails, yeah.
That's fine, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. And also, as you do this, you can always, the best things to have, guys, is, you can always, 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 you can al reduced salt. There are things that you can use that says low sodium, right? They also have something on the market that's called salt substitutes. So you can also use that. But see, I'm a salt fanatic, which I shouldn't be. But it does give flavor to the food a little bit. So you just add a little. And then as Barbara said, you never can go wrong with pepper.
Put it on, stir it up, put more on.
Yeah, that's what you do. You add pepper to it. And then what we're also going to do is what I found out recently. Guess what? Lemon juice is really great. It gives it more flavor, so it's just not mayonnaise and celery, okay? So you can use lemon, you can use fresh lemon, cut it, squeeze the juice in there if you choose to, or you can buy what is called real juice. It comes in a green bottle. You can use that as well. All right, that's the closest one to natural lemon juice.
Before you cut it, Lynn, roll it, get more juice.
Yeah, I was.
And if you're feeling jazzy, you can also utilize a little bit of the zest of the lemon to add that more robust. Typically, if you don't feel like cutting the pit and really going into the very culinary expert way of actually physically doing that, you can use something like this just to shade a little bit of the lemon off of the top and put that in there. And that really makes the flavor robust throughout whatever you utilize. Okay, so now we've got the grilled cheese that's finished, guys, all right? So a combination with the grilled cheese sandwich is tomato soup. It is the best combination. How many people here love a grilled cheese sandwich? It's yes, amazing, right? Spring. It's a nice spring dish, consistent with the bread and the cheese and the soup. Perfect combination. So as you guys look here, we're finished. You see this nice golden brown color on the bread.
So once you have your chicken salad all mixed up, give it a little plate. Okay, got mayonnaise, lemon juice, over the celery. I didn't go overboard with the celery. Oh, I can. You guys over there, can you see real quick? Okay, it's on the screen. And you can, okay, you can see pretty good, right? So what I'm going to do, I am going to serve it on a plate. We're going to decorate the plate. We're going to garnish it, right? So that if you don't have anything else to go, and you have some clients, just like we were talking about, some of our dementia clients, remember, they don't want to eat. Well, they think they don't want to eat. So whatever you give to them, they'll say, no, I don't want it. But if you make it pretty enough for them, right, they will eat it because they're like, oh, that's not just a plain sandwich, or that's not just plain grilled sandwich. That's not just egg salad, you know? So what I'm going to do is garnish the plate with some of the fruit that we had, right? And put some lemons around it as well. And so you'll be able to serve them and coerce them into eating. Saying is basically when you would do this, you could also put here the biggest, when the plate was larger, you would serve. Oh, there's a perfect, that one.
Yeah, set it on one plate.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
This is what we're looking for. When Barbara always talks about presentation, right? You would do this and serve the soup here, and you would put your cheese, cut the cheese on a triangle, as Barbara is saying, because if you serve somebody grilled cheese like this, they generally don't want it.
No.
Okay. So everything has to be enticing and appealing, and presentation is very, very important. You could actually put a banana here and slice a banana for them as well. You see, so that would be excellent for them. It doesn't take long. You have your tomato soup.
So we're able to get Campbell's tomato soup very easy. Get the top, that's the peels off very easy. So quick, so you don't have to deal with the opening of the can opener. Very easy, very easy. Yeah, put in a little water. Right?
Yeah, water.
Gotta add water.
Or you can get the Progresso. Do you have any water there?
Yep.
Yeah, add some water.
Yeah, and then that's all you would have to do is just slice a banana, put the banana on the side here, cut your grilled cheese in an angle as a triangle, really to present this to them so that they would eat it. You know, it's all about really, our seniors don't want to eat. If you ask them, do they want something to eat? 9 times out of 10, they tell you no. I don't want anything. Or just a little bit. But if you present it to them in a nice way, I bet you they eat everything off of that plate that you give them, okay? So that's what we're trying to do, is to help you serve your clientele as much as you can, the best way you can, and make it easy for you, so you're not in the kitchen slaving. The other thing we're going to do briefly,
So if you guys see the final product here, so we just made a cube in here, added a little bit of milk. You see the consistency, it's a perfect consistency. It's not too thick, it's perfect. Okay. Easy. 15 minutes or less.
So here's just an idea for the banana and flour.
mm-hmm.
You made me hungry, and I'm gonna go home and cook.
We're gonna move into a quick dinner because we know we're running out of time. One of the things we realized too is that some of you may be working 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then the client might say, I need something to eat, but you're like, what am I going to fix? You know, most of us like fried chicken. You're not going to eat fried chicken. It take too long, right? You got flour and all of those things. However, if they have chicken breast or chicken thighs, right? You can do chicken breast in the oven for like 45 minutes. All right. So what we did last night, we brought fresh chicken breast. We washed it, always wash the meat. Now, if I was home and I had enough time, I always soak my meat. Okay. I wash it. I always clean it with vinegar and baking soda to make sure that the bacteria is out. You know what? You need to wash for at least 20 minutes, let it soak. If you let it soak, you will see what is coming out of your chicken. I'm sorry to tell you that, all right? But you will see what the water is looking like if you let it soak for at least 10 or 15 minutes. If you have enough time, 20 minutes. But make sure you use baking soda in it. And sometimes I add vinegar to it. And you will see all of the stuff that is coming out of your chicken, okay? So I'm letting you know that, all right? So what I did last night is chicken breast, okay? It's baking soda, not baking powder. Always wash the chicken, always let it soak. One of the things most people today may have in their house is Miss Dash. A lot of people today can't use salt, as we know they have hypertension, high blood pressure, all of these things, diabetes, okay? Miss Dash is not salt at all. It's not even a salt substitute. It just basically gives flavor. So you can sprinkle a little Miss Dash over your chicken breast. You can add a little butter if you choose in it. Add a little bit of butter to your chicken. You can put it in there, or you can coat your chicken. Normally when we're at home, I take olive oil and put it on my chicken. If you have like those grills, so that the juice will drop from it, it will also give it like a crispy coating. You can put olive oil on it. You can use breadcrumbs and dip the chicken in the breadcrumbs with the olive oil on top of it. It will give you a nice coating. But if you have someone that is gluten-free and they really have a diet restriction, the best thing to do is just to add just a little bit of seasoning on it. Once again, you have your lemon. You can squeeze lemon juice on there. It will give it some more flavor. Look.
This is a proponent to lemon zest as well.
Yes, and I do the lemon pepper.
Yep,
Oh,
exactly right. You can do that, right? You can also, wonderful pepper.
What do you feel about garlic? Depending upon, because garlic's good for blood pressure.
Yeah.
Well, you can get garlic, but you have to be careful about too many seasonings because remember, you're dealing with people with all types of issues, okay?
Mhm.
So this is quick. This is simple. We have an oven over there. We're going to stick this in the oven. We're not going to have time to finish cooking it, but put that in there. And that's all you have to do to prepare that. Did you see that? Real quick. You let it cook for about 30 to 45 minutes. And always check your chicken to make sure. Some people have thermometers, right? But if you're in a house that don't, I'm telling you, 30, 45 minutes max. Don't put it. You can put a fork in there too. But you can make sure you can check it. All right. So you don't want your chicken to be overcooked. Now, we cooked it last night. So once it's finished, it'll come out looking like that. Okay? This is already cooked. It will come out like this.
Let's see. I mean, just, there you go, like that.
And let it rest, that's important too.
Right. So last night we cooked it, right? Well, actually my son cooked it. And so we cooked it last night, and guess what? So you can see the finished product of what it looked like, because we're not gonna have time to cook for another 30 or 45 minutes. But we just wanted you to know, also make sure your temperature is around 350 to 375 when you're using the oven. 350, 375. I don't know if people have, this is a convection oven over here, but most people have regular, either electric or gas, you know, but make sure your temperature is on 350 or 375 to bake your chicken, okay? And that's just baked chicken. Quick, easy, and it won't keep you away from your client, because at first we were worried about how are they going to go into the kitchen, right, and prepare all of this stuff and also still take care of their client while they're watching the food. So that's why we are trying to give you like simple, quick things when you go to the clients, and to be truthful, so we're not getting called saying they don't know how to make a sandwich. Okay?
Yeah.
They do call us. They can't cook.
Yeah. Scrambled eggs.
So they can't scramble eggs.
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing this, because we want to see you shine. And if you shine, we shine. You know, and that makes us feel good, because we know we sending out stellar caregivers, right?
Premium.
That's it. So there's anything, we're here to help you. Barbara's here to help you. All of us are here to help you. This is Carol. If you don't know her, she's part of case management. She's the manager of case management. We're the ones that assign you the cases. Barbara's the one out to go get the bacon. Okay.
First thing they ask me when I'm cook.
Then we can be able to assign you the cases, and that's what we do. Okay. And Chris is the one that hires you.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why we're here today. And I'm not supposed to say this, but we all need to give Brittany a round of applause.
Dynamic.
Everyone.
Me.
Thank you.
So,
Open.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
No idea.
So, we're here to help you, and I don't know if it's true, we're supposed to have another segment of this coming up, right? We want to talk to you about kosher as well. So, because sometimes we have remember where we are, we serve a multicultural population. And so when you go into those clients' home, you need to go in there to assertive, knowing what you need to do, knowing how to cook. And when somebody calls you and say to you, oh, we have a Jewish family, but they only want kosher. We don't want you to be startled that you don't know what kosher is, or even have an idea to handle that. So we're going to begin to show you and tell you some strategies on what to do and give you better understanding on how to provide that for a kosher family, okay? And even in some of our clients that are Islamic, they also have special foods too, the way food has to be prepared. You know, you better not go in there and tell them anything about any bacon.
No pork.
No pork.
No pork. No pork.
I'm quite sure. Don't talk to them about no pork. You know, don't season your food with pork. Okay, so you need to know these things. There's stuff like turkey that you can season your food with. Tastes very, very good. So you need to know about these things, right? Because you're serving the population, especially some of you that do live-ins, some of you do 12-hour shifts, some of you do the evening shifts from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So you're going to run across this. Those that do the lunch shifts, right? We did most of the lunch and breakfast, thank goodness for, right? So you know now you can go in and fix something really quick, all right? And I'm going to shut up And I'm going to turn this over to either Brittany.
Well, to add on to what Len said, we thank you all, our caregivers, for what you do every day, because we couldn't do what we do without you. Joanna has something to say.
Yeah, I would just like to add on to what you were saying as far as preparing the chicken. I've done the exact same thing, but put it in the microwave 8 minutes, 7 minutes, and it comes out just as good in the microwave. And also concerning strawberries, they need to be soaked the way you soak the chicken. Strawberries are the most dangerous fruit out there because it is not clean, and if you don't get organic, you're getting a lot of bacteria. You never can rinse a strawberry and get rid of the pesticides and bacteria. And even with organics, they're very dangerous. So you need to soak 10, 15 minutes. Vinegar and baking soda.
The other thing I wanted to try to remind you too, I know a lot of us today use microwaves, but some of our senior population, guys, that's why we're trying to tell you temperatures to cook on. Some of them do not want to use microwaves, and some of them don't have microwaves in their homes. So we're trying to show you both ways, right? Just like Barb showed you today that you can cook the eggs real quick in the microwave, you can also cook them real quick in the skillet, like she told you, okay? So we want you to be knowledgeable, have wisdom, and be able to use that. Those tools that you just had today, okay? Remember, I have a couple of people that don't have microwaves in their home, so you're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way on the skillet, okay?
One thing I want to make mention is when you're dealing with raw chicken, especially with the wood cutting board, do not put cooked chicken back on that where you prepared it. It has to be completely separate, even with your utensils, because salmonella can transfer. So when you're dealing with raw food and chicken, get rid of that, start a new clean surface, because you don't want to transfer something that's raw with the cook. Cross contamination, exactly.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Are you good?
What'd you think about this? What'd you think? Good?
How did you get me to come up?
You guys are cooking, send us pictures so we can see what you're prepping.
Yeah,
and look
we
at everything.
appreciate you. You might not hear that as being the front end of when I'm closing these cases. First thing people say to me, can they cook? What do they do? Well, my job is I'm trying to bring in other ideas to help. We talked about this in our managers meeting. What can we do to make our caregivers stronger? And we want to equip you to be able to be the best that you can be, because what you're doing out there is not easy. I know that. But you know what? This is a two-way street. You're just not getting to them. You're getting results back too. It makes you feel good. When you walk outside that door or you're coming back in that next day, they're excited to see you. All right. So that's going to keep you working longer. Okay. Because I want to keep you on those cases. You need paychecks. Anybody like paychecks? Little paychecks? What I want don't just do it for the money, do it for the blessing that God is going to give you, because there's nothing, you can't put a paycheck of the heart in there. That when you've done something and you feel good, you sleep good at night, you're better for yourself, your family. This is not only just for us, for the care recipient, it's for you. And please take time to take care of yourself. Take a bubble bath. Okay, take a power nap. Go get your nails and pedicures done. Give yourself a back rubber. Get your hubby or boyfriend, or not the same ones together. But, some days my hubby and sometimes my boyfriend. Just depends. Please help me to keep you working, because if you keep coming back, I can keep building. We can bring the cases in, but we need caregivers. So if you know anybody, please tell them, bring them on. Visiting Angels needs them. We invest in you. You're our most prized possession. I worked for UPS for many, many years, retired, and I decided to come back to work for Jill and Paul. Okay. So I'm used to getting things done and operational. People show up. If you show up, we'll make sure you have a job. And I know that they have some cases here today. So if you don't have something, please don't walk out of here and not grab something, because we really do need you. Maybe the 4 hours isn't what you want, but do it. Get your foot in the door, because I'm working on a daily basis. My team is working to get you those 8 and 12-hour cases. I was at GW Hospital yesterday down in DC talking to case management. I want those cases. Okay, so you keep going so I can keep you going. All right.
you.